Good day, everyone. I just thought I realised something. In all the time that I've actually been talking about excreting and whatnot, I've never actually shown anyone the technique for eating. And though it sounds quite strange, there is a skill to it. Being a person that was quite heavy set myself, and that was mostly because I didn't exercise. Um, there is a technique to eating large quantities without causing any bodily challenges. So before you even try this, if you suffer from any conditions affecting your vital intestinal organs, most certainly discuss your discuss it with a healthcare professional. If you suffer from Crohn's disease or anything like that, discuss it with a healthcare professional. If you're wanting to go through sort of like at least 2 to 3 months within the year where you eat for 2 or 3 people, obviously that will impact the amount of land each person has available. But when you do things like recycle, or you don't use packaging or plastics, when you utilize crude or waste products within your cosmetics, and when you don't waste food and generally don't have a dependence on flowers, you're able to save as much land space as possible, so make a lot of agricultural space available. So today I'm going to, because I've had a really long walk. Yesterday I burnt 1,000 calories. So today I've run another 500. I've got a long way to go. I've just taken some time out of my job searching. Oh, I'm in Mackie D's, by the way. That's why you're hearing a lot of background noise. I just stopped off and I was like, okay, let me get myself a hot chocolate because I'm going to treat myself. Any energy I make is going to be used for whatever the two-way trade between Sierra Leone and the UK is. For people that have a physical so basically, for people that don't have the physical ability to be able to create energy in this way, it's because I've got loads of time. So I was just like, okay, I'll just do something dutiful. So I'm going to be attempting to eat at least sort of this. It's high fiber, so it actually helps my cholesterol levels, and it doesn't cause any risk, any harm whatsoever. And after this, I'll be walking for probably another 600 calories. So I'm going to basically, I do have some reduced coleslaw just because I wanted to make it interesting. This is the hardest bit, eating bread. I would say, because there's a lot of chewing involved. When I eat oats, it's not so hard. So yeah, this basically allows for, if you've got, say, like, so what you want to do is always have some kind of liquid around you, preferably something warm, because I find that it kind of helps my digestive system. So yeah, if you live in an all-electric home, biogas is also used for electricity, so this is helpful. So yeah, just get chewing. I tend to listen to music whenever I do this. It's going to be quite odd just watching someone eat. I'm trying as hard as I can not to make loads of noise. As making it excrete is like a core part of the process. Don't be afraid to eat, in as much as you, or as long as you are committing to the physical exercise that comes with it, because you don't want to head down a certain road and realise that actually this is having a negative impact on my health, and then it'll have a negative impact on the amount of resources we'll need for healthcare. Oh yeah, and I put in some links on where you can get tested for the type of genes that you have. So if you do possess a certain type of gene that allows for your muscles to, you might want to wash bread as well. So, yeah, it's a good way to pay for one step. Because then you're just able to just do it yourself. And if someone offers you assistance, you can just tell them you've already got one.
You don't fall! You don't fall for snow! You don't fall! You don't fall! See that the you don't fall! You don't fall for snow! You don't fall! You don't fall! I say you don't fall! You don't fall! You don't think you didn't fight? Let them come down for snow! Let them snow! You don't fall! You don't fall! You don't fall!
I think I'm going to have some coleslaw, just because bread is like really dry. Sometimes I have this with yogurt, but if you're like not wanting to create manufacturing jobs too much, you can always choose to opt out. I'm just wanting to make it interesting rather than having me.
You have to call them.
So this morning I had an excrete, and I think I got rid of about 400 grams. So I have the freedom to replace it without causing any distress to my intestinal organs with another 400 grams, and I've chosen bread. It's easy to grow. And other people are able to, that are a smaller size, are able to eat other kinds of meals. I'm going to try and speed this up because usually I'm quite fast. That's what I did. I'll show you what it looks like if I can. And you want to take just small sips, so you're not using a lot of water as well. And if you find that you're getting full, just take a deep breath, take probably a 10-minute break, and then go back to your meal and complete it. But don't not finish it, because that's basically fuel. And the reason why it's important that you go through this process is because in order to basically digest food or use waste food, you have to go through probably like a lengthier process. Here, your stomach already produces all of the microbes and all of sort of the biological matter that you're going to need to then create methane and make biogas for electricity use. So, and it also is a good source of fertilizer depending on what you eat. I found out the other day when I read an article. Apparently, it's good to have fats. So chips are very good. So I did go and have quite a bit of chips yesterday, and I had to walk like, I think it was like possibly 17 or between 17 to 19 kilometers. I'm about like rather than calories to get rid of it. It's okay. So this way I should, by the end of the day, have put into my stomach at least 400 grams, well, including my breakfast, 500 grams, and then by the end of the week, no, not 500 grams, including my breakfast. Did I include everything? Oh, it's going to be a light day. So I should probably try and get at least 700 grams into my stomach today of low calorie food. So I may have some chips later. And one of the days in this week I will have to eat something Cyrilonian, because that's what gives me access or rights to be able to say, look, I want this much energy, because I'm continuing my identity and culture, but also participate in the process of making what puts into effect these ideals on fairness and equality possible. Because I do always look at these international treaties that we sign, and I tend to think to myself, gosh, in order to give someone a home or a reasonable place to live, you have to have a skill set. In order to give them energy or fuel, it has to be low emission. You have to have the people. So I suppose this is quite literally implementing international treaties. I've got 4 more slices to go. 4.5. In terms of chewing, you may not need to chew up to 10 times. I don't. But I never swallow anything whole. Try and get your food as soft as possible. So that's why I use hot water. And try and do it with other people as well, because boiling a kettle apparently is the equivalent of a Netflix movie. So if you've got a pension plan, I wish your grandma long life. It just so happens that this is my job searching day, and I have to do a certain amount of hours, but I also have to create energy. Otherwise, we're just not going to have energy for things that we need. And there's no amount of treaty that will make it possible for us to be able to create what we need without actually having resources. So. I don't know if I'm going to have to get another hot chocolate. This hot chocolate is sweet. What I do like is the idea of whoever, or I'm hoping whoever it is that is utilising this energy at the end of the process is going to be a person of actual benefit to my needs in society. Because at some point I'll be having kids, and I'm going to be needing a person to be there for me in the same way. That's why I do this. So when people say this is a crazy reason to do this for the sake of your community, and I'm like, no, actually it's an investment in myself. I used to eat like food from all over the world, mostly low emission countries and Sierra Leonean and food. And somebody brought my attention to something which would mean that I'd have to kind of adjust my emission footprint calculator. In all the years I used to do things like make jollof rice and African food and things like tola or Nigerian equivalent of bono quite a lot, but not anything with like fresh produce. And I realised that the majority of the places I shopped at were Nigerian food shops because it's far cheaper to export or to import in terms of net weight for that. So it means that I'd have to include probably on average the emission footprint of a Nigerian person from the time I moved to the UK to now in my emission footprint calculation, which changes everything. But for just the one where I just include Sierra Leonean produce, it's actually, I'd have to include it as the emission footprint of one Nigerian person for every year, if that makes sense, because of where I have sourced some of my African food from. But all of the other emission footprints stand the same because they take into consideration global impact. So my average stays the same. It's just the one where I exclude global impact but include a specific location. But yeah, I didn't purchase like fresh produce because I found that quite annoying from like far away. But yeah, things like, with the exception of like ewedu or crane if you are Sierra Leonean. So yeah, apologies that I wasn't accurate. Generally speaking, if you're 5'5" and above, you should be doing this. At least twice a week, I would say. And try not to pressure yourself in terms of doing. Try and get a good amount of sleep, like at least 8 hours every day. Because I've come to realize that that impacts my ability. Just really take your time, 20 minutes. There's no rush. You can have this with yoga as well. I sometimes do. We might just be able to get the internet. But again, most importantly, don't let this settle. Go for a long walk. I've only been able to do this because I've actually burned the equipment. This is my way of creating dependable fuel, effectively. If I adapt and my body adapts, I create a dependable fuel, but at the same time, or the basis for dependable fuel. Because apparently a bucket, which is like 20 kg, which is probably a month's worth of, or 3 weeks worth of food, depending on how much you are able to cook. Gives a good amount of gas, which converts into a good amount of energy. once in a while, it's good to like not put grease products on one's skin and utilize other forms of energy. Times like this, I just want to say thank you, Mama, to my uncle and aunt. Yeah, I want to know how to be self-sufficient over the years in terms of energy. If you didn't teach me. I became like big when I was 13 years of age because I was an eater, and I learned how to eat in large quantities within one sitting without causing any distress to my sort of core or intestinal organs, and also process large amounts of shit. Thank you, Mum. I could probably finish a loaf, but I'm just gonna leave it because I'm being lazy. Your body can carry up to like at least 2-3 kgs. Whether or not you process it as pure shit depends on how the body absorbs. Also depends on your organs and how you digest. And I suppose how much exercise one can do. It's just as well that I've chosen not to go onto the internet to search for work, but I'm using my job searching activities, walking as my way of like inquiring for work. Because I'm still trying to decide whether I want to save a life. If I'm going to have to be like on the internet using it excess, when I could just sit at home, have the internet on, have the entertainment on, share it with like my children, pay in advance for all the things that they're going to need, and then next year sort myself out. I don't know, I'm still trying to decide if I want to save. Oh. So every person that will need to sustain my reasonable needs, so the person that's going to be building the new build, because there's a bunch of new build properties where my mother lives, and I found out the other day, a lot of equipment requires, they're now using, instead of fuel-based, but energy, hybrid building equipment. So you need to plug in and actually charge in order to be able to use that. And biogas is also similar to that. So yeah, for the steel that has to be transported, or any equipment that has to be kind of brought to wherever it is they're going to be creating homes that will be affordable for people like myself. I'm hoping that I pay a good, fair biological share that's low cost and no emission. in advance. Because if it is a case there's very little physical space or homes, then I'll be hoping to. Yeah. So that's that done. That's half of the loaf. So probably like 500 kg eaten in bread. I bought this bread from Morrison's. You can buy the same. You can have chips, but just make sure the weight is up to standard. Okay, we're on 30 minutes now. So it took me about 30 minutes, just because I was talking a lot, to eat through that. So yeah, I wish you all the best for your goals. And yeah, this is how to basically eat without causing like as minimum harm. So make sure you have your hot water or hot drink at hand to be able to take sips in between bites and eating. And you can add something like seasoning or whatever to make it interesting. Eating a mere sandwich a day is probably not going to be enough to process through your digestive system to create, say, like a bucket worth of shit at the end of the month that would provide at least a couple of 100 hours worth of energy in terms of biogas, and also having the right mix of what you eat, so things like fats and stuff. And when you're done, most importantly, try as best as you can to take a long walk. And yeah. So yeah, if you're over 5'5", then this will probably be for you. If you're lower and you're able to do the same, and you've got really good walking genes, you've got really good slow twitch muscle fiber genes, as well as good muscles for long distance walking, then you're more than encouraged to like take part. It's just that the probability based on height and muscle fiber increases the amount of food you can basically carry and process it within a certain period of time. So as quickly as possible as is needed. So yeah, I wish you an awesome, excellent day. Like always, I love you as much as I love myself. And yeah, this is how to eat, basically. Have an awesome day, and I wish you a lot of energy and a lot of success, a lot of progress, most importantly. It's going to be a really, really long day today. Such a long day job searching. Long day. Yeah. We move. I love you as much as I love myself.